Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back.
How you
So you
doing?
said you had things to talk about, huh?
Yes, many things.
No, I was gonna say that I had an interesting incident where I ordered a package that was, of course, during coronavirus, everything was, delayed. Anyways, so you never knew when things you ordered were going to come in because Amazon Prime doesn't really exist anymore. They still mark things as Prime, but like shipping date is a week and a half from now, and
Right.
so you just never really know what's happening. And I ordered it. It wasn't from Amazon, but it was from somewhere else. And of course, a couple days later, it was like, "Oh, your package is delayed, due to the, the coronavirus and all this stuff." I'm like, "Okay." So time goes by, and I like forget. And then I get an email one day that's like, "Your package has been delivered," and I'm like, "Woohoo!" And I loaded up my camera and realized that no packages have been delivered to my house at all. It's not that it's not there, but it's not like it got stolen. It was never delivered.
Right.
So like, okay, they the UPS and FedEx are really bad about doing this. They'll mark something as delivered, especially like late at night one night when they were supposed to deliver it, and it won't actually be there. It'll come back the next day. By the way, I am like flying around the main island looking for this big firework. Almost out of fireworks.
It's striped like red and white. It's right beside the potion bottle and the shulker box.
Oh, it's just the top of the firework.
Yeah.
Oh, I was looking for like a big building with a giant firework. Oh,
hello, sir. Welcome to the fireworks store. May I help you find anything?
No, just nobody. You got a permit for these fireworks, sir?
No, yeah.
Twinkle 4th of July, Fade 4th of July, and Basic 4th of July. Oh, so these are all different.
I've been using.
These are all fancy fireworks.
I've been using this one. Oh, it's all gone. Never mind. I don't use that one.
I want to see. Ooh, that was pretty. But I don't want to.
If you use ones that have an effect like that, did you get to see that whenever you blast?
I don't know. There's a lot of diamonds in here.
Yeah, I've been using that one, the one with the flight duration 3.
Yeah, flight duration 3. These are nice. I'm going to take the other stack and bring it back to our base. I mean, of course I wouldn't do that. Now there's a bunch of flight duration 1s here. Anyway, let me grab one of these fancy ones though, and just see. I'm going to go up with a normal one.
Contact directly for bulk orders, she says.
And then
I contact her directly. Oh yeah, there is. Did that hurt you?
I tried to turn around to see it. I think I flew into the explosion. So anyway, I figure I'll wait till the next day because.
Hold on, what's real quick though? Your mic is different right now. You're like peaking.
Or bad different.
Not in a good way. Yeah, you're like your gain is like super high or something.
I am looking over at my settings. Hold on a second. Let me land. My mic does seem to be pushed up higher than normal. Is that better?
Talk some more.
Hello, talking
yeah,
more.
I think that's better. I think it's better.
Yeah, it was a little bit higher than normal on the level for some odd reason. But,
okay. Yeah.
So the next day,
shit, the moment you started like actually talking, you started peaking again.
Yeah, I guess you guys are gonna have to wait. Unless I bumped my gain here. Hold on.
I can turn you down. You're just kind of crackly a little bit.
Let's turn my gain down a little bit on the mic itself too, and we'll see if that does anything.
Okay.
But so the next day, I wait and nothing comes. It still says it's delivered, and I'm like, okay. So then I got to. That's right before I went to Ohio. So I went to Ohio and came back, and still the package never came. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna, call and get a dispute or whatever it is started. Apparently, USPS doesn't answer their phones during this. Like you get through on the line to a message finally, and it's like, after you hit all the buttons to get to the right place, which takes forever. And then it's like, during the pandemic, we are not answering the phones. You should
what the fuck?
File a dispute online. I'm like, this is like the best time to answer the phones because you send your fucking people home and they still like work from there. I don't get it. So either way, they didn't do that. So I have to go online and start a claim. So I just fell in the water. So I start a claim, and unfortunately, when I start this claim, it changes my status like 2 days later from delivered to scheduled, and it had that day by 8 o'clock. And I'm like, okay, they must have found, my package and wherever it was at, and they're going to bring it by. Well, no package comes. And I'm like, okay, that's freaking weird. And the next day I log in and it is now scheduled for that day. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Come on, this is ridiculous at this point. And the next day it just says scheduled. We'll update with delivery date when one is available.
What the fuck?
And I was like, okay, this is just like dumb. So I'm gonna try to call back, and maybe at some point I'll get a hold of like somebody through some menu system, which I actually finally did. I had to sit on hold for like 35 minutes or something like that at work. I almost forgot I was on hold. Like there's just music, like music, and I'm working on other things, and all of a sudden somebody's like, "Hello, can I help you?" And I'm like, "What the fuck is that?" But so it takes this dude like 25 minutes to start searching through anything to do with my claim. And he finally comes back and he's just like, "Oh, just ignore the date of whatever it says on the website. When the claim is going, the dates are not correct. But the driver has tried to make contact with where they dropped the package off to see if they can reclaim the package." And I'm like, okay, so I said, are they acknowledging at this point that they delivered it to the wrong house and they're trying to get it back? And he says, yes. I say, okay, that's interesting. So a week goes by. By the way, I'm in bed. Oh. So a week goes by.
Just staring at the chest.
No updates on anything. No updates on the claim status online. No, no package, nothing like this. It just keeps saying scheduled. We'll update at some point. And so I'm like, what the fuck? So I start digging back through the stuff, and I'm going to call the company that I bought it from. So I go to find the email.
What'd you buy, Valley? What was this thing you were even waiting on?
So it's actually like an electric skateboard. But not for me, because it's like the weight limit's like 150 pounds. But I was on some random sale, so I figured it was something like Jack might be able to play with and have fun with.
Yeah.
And then to get free shipping, I added like some. It was from Kohl's, so I added some like pants and a dress shirt and stuff to it because I wanted to get free shipping, and I needed pants and a dress shirt anyway. So I figured, why not take advantage of it? Gotcha. And so I do this. Or I do this. I go to pull up my email, and as I'm about to call them with my order number and stuff, I swear to God, I looked down and realized the shipping address is an address that I lived at over 6 years ago.
Oh my gosh, how'd that happen?
Well, and I remember when I was filling out the paper or the form online, it had my old address in there. I guess I haven't ordered from Kohl's since I lived at this other address. And I remember updating the shipping address like 2 or 3 times, and it kept reverting back to the old one. And I finally got it to take.
Huh.
I didn't, I guess, pay attention to and I think the final screen, I want to say that right when the order went through, I checked it on the final screen because I was like so confused at why it wouldn't take my address.
Yeah.
And I confirmed, but I never looked at the email, and the email showed that it was shipping to the other address. And now I'm thinking, okay, this is weird. So I've got the UPS people telling me that they've acknowledged that they've dropped it off to the wrong house, yet they're still not updating this claim. Yet I see that they dropped it off, or it probably was delivered to the other house, even though everything I put in on this claim and everything I've talked to this claim guy about, he asked me what's the address the package is shipped to, and I give him my current address, and he confirms all of that information, which is weird because it was clearly wrong, yet they just accept this and move on with life for some odd reason. So I call the company, and the company essentially tells me, and I find this kind of funny, and I straight up tell them, it was on the chat, and I was like, look, I realized after that I started a claim with UPS, but then I re-looked at the order confirmation. I don't know how it happened, but it looks like it took an old address of mine, and that's where we're running into the problem. And I was kind of surprised, but at the same time, it's not their fault. But the lady was basically like, well, do you know anybody that lives at that house still? And I said, no. And she goes, well, since it's your fault, there's not really anything we can do about it. I was like, oh, okay. I guess like that's fair because it was my fault, but
was it really?
But well, and I can't guarantee it was or not. But the email that did come through immediately after the order confirmation did have the wrong address on it.
I guess you could have called it there.
I should have looked at it there, right? But even so, I wouldn't think that a company would just have that
Right. I think that's the employee
attitude.
stance, not the company's stance.
Right. And it just kind of weird. So anyways, I'm like, okay, how am I going to go about this? You know what? That old place, it's not that far from my work. Maybe I'm just going to drive over there, knock on the door. What's the worst that can happen? It's been 3 weeks at this
You
point
drive by,
since
there's a
this
kid on a little
package.
electric skateboard.
It's I was kind of wondering, and I'm going in with like the thought process that like there's this stuff has either been gone, sold, used, whatever. Like the odds of getting this back are no. But what do I have to lose at this point? So I go and knock on the door, and somebody answers, and I'm just like, look, hey, my name's Jeff Sano. I know this is a real long shot, and I honestly don't care. Like, it could have been, you guys could have opened it because you would have no way of knowing who I was or where it was going or what to do with this stuff. Like, it's not your responsibility anymore as the recipient of a lost package to do anything. I was like, I'm just curious. Like, I had some packages accidentally sent here. I used to live here. And the guy goes, oh yeah, there was some packages sent here for you. Some FedEx guy or some UPS guy came back and asking if the things had gotten delivered. I think we gave because there's like 4 people that live in this house. It's an old house with 4 rooms that each person rents an individual room. It's a place I had lived for about 2 years. So I know that the way the house works. And he's like, yeah, I think one of the roommates gave the packages back to him though. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'm thinking in my head, if they gave them back, they're gonna go back to the company or something then, right?
Yeah.
And then they could like refund my order. And then one of the other roommates comes downstairs and he goes, hey, did the packages go back to the FedEx guy or the UPS guy? And he's like, oh wait, are you Tim? And I was like, no, I'm Jeff. And he's like, oh yeah, Jeff, that's right. And he walked around the corner and he picked up one box. It was just giant, like the box the skateboard came in. And he's like, here you go. And I was like, holy shit, like it's just still sitting there completely sealed up and everything. And I was like, well, I just out of curiosity, I said, I know this thing came in 2 shipments. What about the other like parcels? Was there anything else? And he's like, no, that's the only thing that I know of. So I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird because there was 2 different things that came. But at the same time, I'm not like questioning them because clearly they were willing to straight up say, hey, I came, this guy came back and asked for it. And it was still packaged in the box. So it's not like they opened it up and were trying to hide the fact that they had taken my stuff. It was still in the fucking box. I had no idea what it was that was in there.
Yeah.
So, and then the guy asked me, he's like, hey, did you used to live here? And I said, yeah. And he's like, hey, how is it? Because they just moved in like a month ago. So they just move in and they get a box from somebody. So they might have kept it thinking I was probably the old tenant. Like the most recent old tenant.
Yeah.
But when I leave and get home, and I'm happy I have something from it, though I don't have everything from it. I'm hoping the other package maybe did go back to the UPS guy and it will get back and I'll get a refund, but who knows if that's actually going to happen. Otherwise, I'm very curious on where that is. But one thing I want to put out to anybody who's stuck with this story, if you get a package in the mail that is not yours, and you don't intend to steal it, because clearly these people didn't, they didn't even open it up, it'd been there for 3 weeks or a month or however long it's been, look at the address label, because I looked at it when I got home because I was questioning it. My phone number is right there in the freaking label next to my name, and a lot of companies do that now.
Yeah.
If you get a package and it's not to you, and you don't know how to get it back to where it needs to go, there's usually a phone number on it that you can call and let that person know that a package came to the wrong place if you want to be a nice person.
Huh.
That's what I wanted to say. But I'm also still curious what's going to happen with the second package, the second part of the package.
I mean, so what did you not get?
The shirt and the pants.
Huh. That's weird. So you just got a skateboard. Yeah, I wonder, maybe they did give one package back.
Well, and that's what I'm wondering, if they gave it back, when is it going to get back to the Kohl's? Because they'd return it to sender, I would assume, right?
Right.
And
but though I bet Kohl's just won't care.
You don't think that happens? Like, what about like when people refuse shipment on something? That's supposed to be a way if you bought something and have buyer's remorse, you're supposed to refuse shipment on it, and then it goes back to the company and you're supposed to get refunded. That's what people always said. I've never done that.
That sounds like a shitty way to go about things.
I mean, I would just, it's easier for me to just be like, hey, I got stolen off my porch. What are you going to do?
Yeah. I mean, shit, that's what you should have just told Kohl's, I guess.
Well, yeah, but I don't want to lie about stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I get it, but I'm just saying, in hindsight, you should just lie.
Yeah, in hindsight, maybe I should. Well, now I at least got the skateboard.
Yeah.
In hindsight, I should have though, because I really expected they were going to be like, "Oh, don't worry, this happens all the time," and part of their, profit and loss statements that they would,
Yeah. That's what I would
do
have expected
something.
too, honestly.
But I can't be mad at them for not, because, like I said,
You
let's sort of
can.
pretend
I
it
mean, you're
was
probably not
100%
right to
my
be, but you
mistake. Yeah, it's I don't know, and I just wonder, like, Amazon, I know for a fact, I've never called and said that it's something I shipped to the wrong address, but I've numerous times gotten on the chat and just been like, "Hey, look, got the delivery message, looked at my cameras when I didn't have a package at home, and saw somebody steal it. Oh, okay, cool. What is it? Here's your refund." Ding! Like, instantly, like they
right.
just like it's nothing.
I mean,
I
honestly,
don't know.
I'm surprised that system doesn't get abused.
I'm sure it does get abused,
Yeah,
but they
so.
probably flag accounts if it gets abused too much.
Right.
Or maybe they don't like I'm a Prime member too. Maybe that makes it easy. If you pay for their service, maybe they expect that you're
Right. You know, I don't know what I should really look and figure out what credit card my Prime is on. Because I don't even know when they charge it or anything, but they
Yearly.
must. I mean, because I'm still a Prime member.
All I can say is yearly.
Well, yeah, I know they do it annually, and the price went up too, right? We weren't like grandfathered in when the price went up, were we? Because I remember when I first got it, it was like $79 a year, I think.
Oh yeah, it was cheap. Now it's like $110.
Right? Do we pay $110? Or
I definitely pay $110, and I've been a member since it was that low. The funny thing is, my wife and I were both members, and I didn't know that there's a family thing. So we both were paying for it, and it turns out you can, if she cancels hers, I can say add family member, and she just goes in and clicks it, and we are now on an account.
I mean,
together.
yeah, it doesn't make sense that you both pay
two separate accounts, still,
right?
But she's just Prime under me, which
right. But I mean, you probably have to share the same shipping address primarily or something.
Nope, because I have like 15 shipping addresses.
Yeah, I guess I do too.
Gifts for, when I bought gifts for like Mindcrack Christmas stuff that we did, I just shipped it. I remember when I had to ship it to Pause, and it was like a whole different country.
That's true.
Like, here you go.
That's true.
This is my shipping address.
But it's still being bought under your account. Well, maybe there's like a limit. Maybe you can only have so many family members or something.
I think it's up to 4 or 6, and it claims they're supposed to be in the same household, and they're supposed to do like some type of check on that. But at the same time, when you can have multiple shipping addresses, it doesn't matter. I know the only reason I found out about that was because I have some people I work with told me about it, and they've been sharing accounts with like each other for a long time, and they'll live in the same address.
Yeah, it's like people with Netflix. Did you know Netflix changed it? Well, I mean, maybe it was always like this. I thought you could just share the shit out of your Netflix account. I never really did, just because I don't want people having access to my account. But now, like, there's a limit on how people can be watching under the same account. I don't know if that's how it always was.
Well, and it's funny because there's like 3 different tiers of it, because we've started moving everything. It's like that and Spotify. We've started moving over to these family plans because they're a lot cheaper. Because like Spotify, it's like $9.99 a month or something like that for one person, or $15.99 or $14.99 a month for up to 6.
Yeah.
So for this like family plan, so we went on the family plan and use it. Like Julia's got her own, I have my own, because otherwise I'd be playing stuff at work, and all of a sudden it would be like somebody else is using your account because they'd play something for the kids at home on the Google speaker.
Right.
So now I have my own account. I have a different account that I use a different email address on. I hooked up to our Google Home, so anytime you use that, it uses this random account that nobody else has. Gotcha. Julia's got it, her dad's got it, so we share these accounts. And Netflix, we're moving up to the 4-person account. But I will say, though we've been kicked off of Netflix before for multiple people using it, it seems very rare. And I know since we've been separated in different states that we've used the Netflix account at the same time, and it's never given us a problem.
Yeah, I know that, like, me, because I share mine with Renee, and she shares her Hulu with me, and I know we haven't had a problem. But then when I was dating, the last girl I was dating, all 3 of us were using my account, my Netflix account, and then we ran into a problem one time. So I guess I can only have 2 viewers at the same time.
So not a single goblin spawned today, by the way.
Huh.
I was over there the whole time running around.
I wonder if it's like trees where it tries to spawn and sometimes it can't, like, because we got those half slabs and it just fails, and then it tries again and again and keeps failing or something.
Yeah, I was like running all around the island to see if there's one that's already spawned that is taking it up, but I can't find one anywhere.
There's a spot right down here.
I guess I should go count how many irons are in here. Yeah, moving on to the family
Yep, here he
plan
is.
stuff is.
Found
Oh,
him.
there's one that just spawned.
Yeah, he's down. I thought he could
49.
come outside.
Yeah,
Nope, I'll show you where I'm.
49 irons. So I'll know when more spawn. Where you at?
Over, come out. Not that way.
Well, I'm going back to the front.
Go
It's
over
the only
the
good way I
island.
know how to get to the top.
Right, come all the way over the island.
Oh, so I could have literally just turned left.
Yeah,
Is what
yeah.
you're saying. Wait, he's in a hole?
Yeah.
Oh, hi, guy. He looks like he's really damaged already.
Yeah,
too.
he must have spawned like right here or something and took some damage.
He did.
All right, I'll just fill this whole hole in here, I guess.
Take it out of there. Man, that first time, even when we only had like 2 villagers, didn't we have like some back-to-back spawns?
Yeah.
And now we're getting like nothing. Oh, one just spawned down there in the pit where he's supposed to be.
Where he's supposed to be.
Where he's supposed to be. And it's so funny that they spawn in the water. Because that was our...
Right, the whole concern there.
Yeah, so I really do wonder what the number of devices is. And I think it is different as well. I think if it senses devices coming from the same IP, that it's different too.
Huh. Man,
So
that would make sense. That would be smart, actually.
Yeah, because you can watch in the same house, I believe.
Right.
What I do know is Hulu is freaking terrible with their tiers, man.
Yeah, Renee's got whatever account doesn't have ads, and
yeah, that's what Julia's sister has. So we usually try to utilize that account when we can, but that does give us a problem sometimes. Say somebody else is watching because I think it's only one person. But I had the the limited commercial account for a while, and oh my god, I do not want to know what the free account was like.
Oh, there's one that's free?
I think there's one that's free. Oh, good, another one's spawned. Because the limited commercial account,
it's like one every like 2 minutes or something, right?
Oh
3
my
minutes.
god, it was so many freaking commercials. It was more than watching TV. It was so annoying, and trying to be sneaky and like run an ad blocker. It's kind of funny how they do this. It ran the commercial would take up the exact amount of time as the commercial, and a black screen would pop up and say, "You have an ad blocker running," but it would just sit there for the same amount of time as the commercial and then go back to the show.
Yeah, to me, the whole point of paying for that type of service is to not have commercials.
I would agree to an extent. Like, I can still understand that there's certain services that because you still pay for. I pay for DirecTV,
right?
And I still get commercials on DirecTV, so I understand that concept, but I don't understand
what's the commercial limited cost of Hulu?
$5. I was on a special where I was paying $5 a month, which was great for Hulu commercial free and Spotify. It was a student discount, like a student plan. So it's actually really good, especially if you just want Spotify, because it makes Spotify only $5. And Spotify is great. Man, you had Hulu in a pinch if you needed it, but God, good luck trying to actually watch anything on Hulu. But the fact that they call it limited commercials would lead me to believe that there's a free tier that has like full commercials, because otherwise you can't say it's limited commercials. Limited from what?
You're right.
You have to have a baseline here,
right?
I don't know how many blocks this guy needs to spawn, because technically there's some spots he could spawn up here. Might be too high though. I think we're gonna have enough iron to make a couple more chests right before the purge.
Yeah, I just went down there and checked on the system, and I've utilized all the chests that I had there. They're not all full, but like there's no.
They all have pieces in them.
Yeah, they all have one, an item. So I need to expand it. But this at the same time, I just lack all motivation knowing the server's going to reset soon. I guess for anyone that doesn't realize that, the server's going to reset soon.
I mean, I'm sure that'll bring everybody back to it.
Everyone keeps saying they're coming back. I'm going to come back and play. Yeah.
You know, it's so funny, too, because I remember when one of the times that when the server really started to go downhill was because a lot of people didn't want one of the server resets because they had so much work into it, but like a lot of people wanted it. So a lot of those people who were real big, at building stuff lost interest because they just lost all that stuff and they didn't want to see it lost again. It's funny though. I just looked at this is episode 139 or 140 or somewhere right around there. We haven't been religiously putting them out every other day either because we've had time frames around breaks and stuff. That's over a year that we've been making videos on this server.
Right.
So it's not like it's short-lived. We're not running something for 2 months and saying screw it.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of like people were like, why aren't you excited? Everyone's so on the server now. You should be real excited. I don't know why that's the voice they have. But
hey, so okay, he spawned in a really bad place.
What did he spawn? Was it down there at least?
No.
Oh, where'd he spawn now? What the fuck? Was he in the water there?
I saw him when he was in the water. I don't know if he spawned here and walked.
He can't. That's a half slab. He couldn't have spawned there. He had to have spawned in the water. I hate him.
Oh, that is a half slab. He's gonna die now, though. Do they drown?
I don't know.
If not, I can't kill him with lava under there.
It's true. He looks fine. He doesn't seem to be drowning. But yeah, the reason why I didn't get excited is because I knew it was going to be short-lived. I don't know. Maybe that's a pessimistic point of view, but it's true.
Well, I mean, so that we need to come up with plans then. What are we going to do on the next server?
Well, I honestly
and do a build.
I honestly think that the next server is going to be a different beast altogether because I do believe once we bring it up and have it going that the Patreon will get to that goal. So I do think that we're going to see, people on the server, viewers on the server. And I think that's going to change things. There's going to be things to do. You know what I mean? And that might incentivize people like Fedrin. See, Fedrin, when we talked to Fedrin about it, she's like, I can't play on the server. It's not good for my mental health because I spend so much time on there. No one else is putting time in. And I'm not disagreeing with her point of view. Obviously, what she says is true for herself. I just don't understand it. And maybe I should talk to her more about what she means by that. But to me, it doesn't make sense. Don't do that to yourself then. Just play.
just don't.
Right. Yeah. If you're playing too much, play less. That's.
I know, but that's just addiction stuff. I'm not saying that she's addicted or anything like that, but it's easy to say and to think about from that logical perspective, but it's a whole different. Oh, come on, man. Wait, this might be working. It's a whole different ball game if you're actually the person,
Right. I guess what she wants is if she's going to put in that level of commitment, she wants others to do the same. But I mean, I'm not ever going to put in as much time as she did on the server. It's just, that's just, I don't have that much interest in Minecraft to play for 8 hours a day for 7 weeks straight or whatever the fuck it was. I mean, more power to her. And I don't think we should restrict or reward excessive play, personally, but that's just my perspective on the.
Well, dude, so I agree and disagree. The only reason I would agree with restricting is so that all elytras don't go disappear in the first day. Things like that. Remember that game Echo?
What?
Eco. It was supposed to be.
Jesus Christ! Have you played that game?
No, I have not played it. I still get emails from the developer about it. They're still doing a lot of stuff with it. But the concepts within it were supposed to be trying to could you limit the number of things you could harvest in a day and all this weird stuff.
So whenever it first came out, it was meant to be played in classrooms, and it was meant to be a dying world, basically, that you're trying to escape from. I don't know how much they've stuck to that, but with that, there was a website that came with each server, and you could basically create a government and vote on policies like, all right, well, the deer are going extinct because we are over farming the deer. So we need to set up a policy and a law to prevent the killing of deer and stuff like that. So that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's what they did. So, but yeah, that was like a different thing altogether, right? Because it's like, that's the damn game. We played it, me, Nakomi, and Justin for many hours. And
good? Oh, I was just gonna destroy these.
well, I mean, if he's spawning here, I think we need to fill this in and put half slabs on it.
Maybe.
It was an okay game, but it's very interesting in the whole, you know, you can't, I don't know. It was kind of thing where it got to the point where certain things you did, like let's say you wanted to make a new machine, the processing time on the creation of something was like, this will be done in 48 hours, real life time. So it got to the point where we'd all log on, because it was like you had to balance your nutrition and stuff, and like you had to balance like the amount of pollution you were putting out while you did all these different things. There's a lot of balancing going on to like not destroy the planet while you do all these certain things. And all right, we probably should go sleep, shouldn't we? But everything was made. It was made in a way that was meant to be played in a classroom, basically for 30 minutes to an hour each day, and it would work. But if you wanted to play it like, you know, 4 or 5 hours a day, you just didn't have anything to do. Yeah. Right. So it didn't end up being a very good streaming game, basically, in the end.
Yeah, I just remember the concepts of it coming out and the talk about how to limit people from just going crazy.
Yeah, there was some interesting things, like whenever you would mine ore, for example, it would take all this stamina. So you would sit there and you'd hit this rock and hit this rock and hit this rock, and you'd finally break the rock. And then you couldn't pick up stuff with like your hand, so you couldn't like pick up the ore with your hand. So then you had to get out your shovel and scoop one ore with your shovel.
Yay,
and then carry your one ore to the furnace to cook your one ore in the furnace from the shovel. And so it was just these crazy things where everything, it was like, there's a Minecraft mod pack called Terra Firma Craft. You ever heard of that?
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of reminds me of how Eco was, where everything is just so monotonous. It's so meant to be realistic. The guy that made Eco made the game Vessel. Have you ever played that? It's like a puzzle game where you have like different types of liquid.
Yeah, and that's where you move your guys around the screen. No, Vessel, that was a different one. I did play that though.
Okay.
Or I watched you play it, one of the two.
I did play it. It's all copyrighted now that Broadband dropped us.
I won one today.
This motherfucker.
Oh god.
I
got an email that somebody released the copyright that they had put on my.
Oh, huh. Look at you, game. Mr. Man.
One out of the 5 I get every day.
Dude, I'm so tired of these golems.
I think you're tired of the server. Get. Okay, fine. Oh, you're in my lava. I can't pick it back up. There we go. Yeah, that Echo game must be either doing extremely well still or extremely terribly.
I don't think he has a big team, so I think he's just developing it in his own time. He did sell a lot of massive licenses to schools and stuff when I talked to him about it. Remember, I bought the source code because that was one of the Kickstarter levels. You could have
just changed it and been like 48 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, we did talk about that, actually. I was like, well, fuck, I got the source code. Why don't we just fucking make this game the way we want to play it? But none of us want to put the time in for that. But anyways, I guess we should wrap this episode up. Maybe in the next episode, golems will spawn. What the fuck?
Maybe.
We'll see you guys next time.
See ya.